The shells ran out first. Not dramatically. Not all at once. Just fewer each day. On the Eastern Front, Red Army artillery units began rationing fire. 3 shells per gun. Then 2. Then 1. In North Africa, British units delayed attacks because ammunition trains never arrived. In Italy, American commanders rewrote assault plans around what couldn't be fired. The official reports blamed logistics, weather, rail sabotage, enemy action, but buried in the same files was a quieter truth. Factories were failing, not because they lacked workers, not because they lacked raw materials, but because the system itself was killing output. In one British Ministry of Supply memo dated January 14, 1943, a single line appears. Current shell assembly procedures are unsustainable under present labor conditions. Unsustainable meant men were dying at the front because shells were not being built fast enough at home. And somewhere inside a cold, rattling factory, surrounded by deafening presses, explosive dust, and women collapsing from exhaustion, a teenage girl noticed something no one in authority had bothered to see. Her name was never put on a plaque, but within 6 months, ammunition output at her plant nearly tripled, and entire offensives moved forward because of it. World War II did not begin with single decision. It began with complacency. After the First World War, governments promised never again. Then they dismantled factories, laid off skilled workers, let machines rust. When rearmament finally came, it came late and clumsily. Britain entered the war with ammunition plants designed for peacetime trickles, not total war. The Soviet Union evacuated entire industries eastward, rebuilding them in mud and snow. The United States possessed enormous industrial capacity, but no immediate system to convert it. Everyone assumed modern war would be short. It wasn't. By 1941, artillery had become the war's primary killer. Shells, not bullets, not bombs, caused a majority of battlefield deaths. And shells were not simple objects. Each one required forging, machining, filling with explosive, sealing, fusing, inspection. Each step was separated by distance, paperwork, supervisors, and rigid tradition. Production lines were designed by men who had never touched the machines. And when millions of men went to the front, those machines were handed to women, most of them young, untrained, and expendable in the eyes of the state. The factory floors became battlefields of their own. The air was thick with cordite dust. Hands cracked and bled. Hair was cut short to avoid being caught in spindles. Explosions were common. In Britain alone, more than 80 major munitions accidents occurred during the war. Entire shifts vanished in fireballs that left nothing but scorched concrete and melted steel. Women fainted from fumes. Others developed jaundice from TNT poisoning, their skin turning yellow, their livers failing. They worked anyway, 12 hours, 6 days a week, sometimes 7, and still it wasn't enough. By late 1942, commanders were quietly warning political leaders. Offensives are being constrained by ammunition availability. This was not supposed to happen in an industrial war. Someone, somewhere was failing. The factory was officially classified. Its designation was a number, not a name. Inside, shell assembly followed a rigid sequence set years earlier. Each worker performed one tiny task, then carried the shell by hand or cart to the next station. The distance between steps was often greater than the work itself. A shell might spend more time being moved than being built. Supervisors blamed fatigue. Managers blamed labor shortages. Inspectors blamed carelessness. No one blamed the system, except for one girl. She was 17. She had left school early. Her brothers were already at the front. Her hands were permanently stained yellow. She noticed something simple. Every shell crossed the floor more than a dozen times. So she did something dangerous. She spoke up, according to a surviving Union minute. She suggested, "Why don't we bring the machines to the shell instead of the shell to the machines?" The room went quiet. She was told, "That's not how it's done. You don't understand the process. Leave the thinking to engineers." She didn't argue. She waited. Then she rearranged her own station during a night shift. Not dramatically, just closer. The next station followed. By the end of the week, without permission, an informal, continuous flow had formed. No paperwork, no approval, just less walking, less waiting, more shells. When management noticed, they were furious. Then they saw the numbers. Output per shift had nearly doubled. Within a month, after formal restructuring based on what she had done instinctively, the plant's output nearly tripled. The idea spread. Other factories copied it. Some added conveyor belts. Some didn't. The result was the same. Shell shortages eased. Offensives resumed. Men at the front never knew why more shells arrived, only that they did. But the cost didn't vanish. Production targets rose. Breaks were shortened. Accidents increased. Women were pushed harder because now it was possible. The girl who had suggested the change collapsed during a shift in late 1943. Toxic exposure. Exhaustion. She survived. Others didn't. The system she helped create saved lives at the front while consuming bodies at home. No medals were issued. No speeches were given. When victory came, factories shut down fast. Machines were sold. Records archived. Women dismissed. The girl returned to anonymity. Her idea lived on, refined, studied, renamed. Engineers took credit. Managers wrote reports. The war was won, but the silence afterward was telling. Those who survived carried ruined lungs, damaged nerves, lost years. The cost had simply changed shape. War does not only kill where bullets fly. It kills in factories, in lungs, in silence. History remembers generals and weapons. It forgets the people who made them work and paid the price so others could survive. That girl never became famous. But thousands of men lived because she noticed what no one else cared to see. And the world moved on, as it always does, forgetting the hands that kept it alive. Because war doesn't just destroy bodies. It erases names. And sometimes that's the most permanent damage of all.